Welcome. We are the homies of the round table, where the table ain't round, but at least we ain't square.
Facts.
I am your host, Trio De Giano, and with me in the building, I got the big homie, Adam.
What's poppin'?
Yo, you want to know what's poppin'?
I want to know.
What's poppin' is a special reason why we cut out the intro today. We ain't even doing all that special stuff. You know why?
I noticed. Why?
Because in the building with us, we got DMK Collective.
Dmkd, bruh.
Okay. Why you always gotta be correcting me, bruh? Let him correct me, bruh.
You right, but listen, y'all, we got Dmkd Collective in the house. Round of applause, everybody.
Clap for me. Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, you forgot that last D.
I thought you was gonna correct me. Like I left it up to you. I thought you was gonna start off like, hey,
Adam
bro.
coming back.
Yeah, I got you now. I got you, bro.
Like the last video.
Well, thank you guys for having me at your podcast, for having us in your podcast. You know, it's our very first podcast, so a lot of emotions, nervous, but excitement at the same time. So.
For sure. I heard you got a little fresh cut.
Yeah, you have to get right.
You had to get right.
Can't look
Okay.
dusty for y'all's podcast.
Yeah, you can't be looking dusty for the
I mean,
queen
for
over
me too.
here.
I was like,
Hey,
all right.
Everything's gotta be on brand. You know, it's gotta
Y'all,
be
this the real Rico Suave right here, man.
For real. Bringing the
Hair looking luscious, my guy.
Latin poppy over here.
Oh.
Land Poppy. Okay.
You know,
So how y'all feeling today, man?
feeling good.
Caffeinated.
Yeah, feeling good. Caffeinated. Just had some Red Bulls, so you know, a little shaky.
A little jittery. It's
little
understandable.
But you know, excited. Nice weather outside. It's not hot. It's not cold. It's nice, cool breeze. You know.
Already. I see
Feeling
you. I see you sporting the jacket today.
Yeah, just a nice little exclusive. You know.
Okay.
Give you guys a little taste of
Little
what's to come.
exclusive, huh?
Yes, sir.
You gonna release it to like everybody, or what's up?
Yeah, it's actually part of my new collection coming out in April, late April. So this is actually our cropped windbreaker jacket, and it's got some puff print on it.
That's
Nice
what's
little
up.
textures. So you know,
Yeah.
I've been all about textures. So continuing on that, so form, textures, you know, everything that's, you know.
Now you say
we'll talk a little
form.
bit more about that, but yeah.
You say form. Is that the reason for the crop?
Yeah, exactly. So you know, I'm a big proponent of, I guess you could say, I like to integrate the unisex.
Okay.
So, you know, crop sweaters, jackets, crop shirts, usually you associate that with female.
Mhm.
But I feel like in fashion now, when it's becoming more trendy and more viral, people are more open to different styles, you know? So the crop style is something that's been picking up, and I feel like it's probably gonna be the new biggest trend,
Okay.
you know, that's gonna be popping. Like you'll see a lot more brands doing that, so, you know, I always try to, you know, think ahead and see what's going on in the atmosphere, and that's something that I really like, the way that it styles it. It creates that additional layer
Mhm.
in clothing, which
Mhm.
you know, it's just, you know, you'll see, yeah, it's textures, which the more we talk about, you'll see how I'm very obsessed with textures.
Okay.
But yeah, you know,
Okay.
had this little thing, you know, wanted to make sure that I showcased it for y'all, so wanted to make
Yeah,
something special.
man.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate when people come on looking fly and whatnot, you know.
For real, because we don't always do it. So if somebody else can do it, that'd be
Yeah, I might
great.
give y'all some tips after this.
Hey, man, you setting the tone for you know, those that come after this, you know.
Yeah.
Right? Like, come on here, get your strag white. Okay, make sure I say your name right.
Just send them my way, and you know.
I mean, don't come on wearing like, you know, bags. You know,
Oh, okay.
don't
I
come on
thought you were
wearing.
about to diss the DURAG again. I felt it coming. Like,
I mean, you can use a little sand on there, you know, a little shine with the lights, you know.
oh,
so
okay.
just brings out your eyes a little bit more.
Oh my God, thank you,
Man.
Bobby.
Eventually,
I need to be worried.
No.
eventually, you're gonna have to bust out the Ferragamo or something like that, you know.
The Louis Vuitton DURAG.
You know what I mean?
The Fucci.
The Fucci, yeah.
Oh my God.
The Bufu, by us.
At least do
you.
the full, you know.
For you.
You get you a chunky fucking do-rag, you know, like the chunky feelers.
Ah,
you gotta
nah,
make that a
son.
trend somehow.
Okay, all right, I got this.
Yeah.
You gonna
I'll
be
design
walking
it
up-
for you.
We're
You're gonna be
rock
walking
chunky.
around looking like Megamind.
7 mega. You said
That was
mega.
solid.
That's how you gonna be looking, bro.
I ain't even got a response for that one. Yo, but on a deeper note though, another thing that I don't really have a real good response to was what happened this week. You know, it was something that me and Adam were talking about on our way here, so we kind of wanted to touch on it a little bit. the shooting that happened in Atlanta against the massage parlors. You know, some people are saying that it's a hate crime. Some people saying it's not a hate crime. You know, at the end of the day, it's still a crime.
Yeah.
It's still murder. It's still ridiculous.
Rest in peace to all those people.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to all of their families.
Yeah, condolences.
And I'm sure, you know, for those that did survive, I know that's gonna be weighing on them for life. You know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that should never happen. I don't care what culture, creed, religion, whatever you're from. You know, you should never be ostracized for any of that. You know, male or female. The dude was claiming that it was because he had a sex addiction or something like that, and he was just that was his way of solving the problem. Bruh.
But see, to me, like that, it's also disgusting because you are not only doing something, a hate crime, and you know, ending someone's life, but you're also downplaying the mental issues of people who do have sex addictions, you know?
Right.
So it's like,
That's the
oh,
solid
it's
point.
just, I just had sex addiction, so I decided to kill some people
Yeah.
because
Right.
That's the thing that I
fetish.
think.
Like, bro, that's disgusting. Like, you're a racist. You commit a hate crime. You
Yeah.
kill somebody. It's still bad. No matter which way you look at it, you kill people that
Right.
didn't do anything.
Right. That's like
Justified like the fetishizing like
Mhm.
Asian women as to why it justified for you to do what you did. Like,
right.
But
Like,
then
I
we'll
don't
have
like the
people
smell
say
of
it's not
coffee
that.
beans, so I'm gonna go blow up a Starbucks. You know?
Yeah.
Well, and two, it's like, you know, apparently, you know, this man stated that he did what he did to get rid of his temptation, right?
Yeah.
Which is disgusting in and of itself to even.
Like deflection
Bro,
of
there's
accountability.
OnlyFans,
Right.
there's Pornhub, there's like a whole bunch of shit you could use to get rid of your temptations. Like, you just wanted to kill somebody.
Right.
You just, you know, wanted to end people's lives, especially because of the way they look and the color of the skin, which is
Right.
disgusting.
Well,
That's-
go ahead.
The same thing with, you know, with Black Lives Matter, you know, with, you know, the cops, the way they behave, you know, it's all disgusting, man. We're all humans. We all gotta treat each other with respect,
Right.
you know, and we gotta uplift each other. And just coming up with excuses as to why you did something so disgusting is just, you know, it's like when you cheat on somebody, like, oh, I did it because I wasn't getting attention. Like, no, bro, you cheated because you fucking wanted to cheat.
Right. Right.
You know, same thing as like, you had temptations, you know, you didn't seek help, or as far as I know, I don't know much about the guy, but I know he's white, and the people he killed were Asian, and they were all Asian, so
They were targeted
it's
for
a hate
that.
crime, and you know,
There
unfortunately,
was 6 Asian American women, and then
There was a customer that was a woman getting in the process of getting massage. She was white, and then there was a gentleman working on one of the massage parlors. So they just happened to get caught in the crossfire, but he deliberately went there for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Same with the
kinda-
Latino male who, thankfully, he did survive. I think he was hit, but he was able to survive his wounds.
Right. Well, and like I also wanted to put out there, if you actually have an issue with like a sex addiction, right? And I put it in parentheses in quotations because, you know, obviously this man, you know,
Right.
has something else going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is a good time to let people know, look, if you actually really do have a problem, reach out to all these professionals that are out there for help.
Right.
You know, like in no way, shape, or form is it okay for you to go out and say, you know what? Oh, I'm going to end my temptation by taking somebody's life.
Right. Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, you think that's going to help anything? If anything, that's going to make you 10 times worse.
I think
You know?
it's a lot worse too because of this whole pandemic, you know, and just
Tensions are high.
by like higher ups or people of like higher power have stated, you know, is the China virus and things like that.
Yeah, the
and I think that doesn't help
and all
out
that.
either with that community
Yeah.
because, you know, there's a lot of hateful things that,
Yeah.
or hateful people, you know, ignorant people who just like take that and just run with it. Like, it's your fault. But no, it's everybody's fault because, I mean,
Right.
yeah, shit happened. It originated there, but we didn't do shit either. I mean, shit, people still aren't wearing face masks, you know, especially in Texas, it's fully open, which is like dumb as hell.
Yeah.
A little
You
early
know.
for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, you going to the club, you partying, like you're part of the problem. Shit
Right.
Like that, you know, you can't just blame it on one community.
I
It's
think,
everybody.
like what you're touching on based off like the way the government like did it, because I mean that's like with the shooting in El Paso of all, you know,
Of
that
all
guy who
Latinos.
made that manifesto against Latinos, and it was like what was going on though. We had the issue with the wall and all of like
Right.
crazy stuff with the elections, and you know, whether people's political stances for Trump or against Trump, at the end of the day, there was rhetoric said about Latinos and Latinas, and that man felt empowered to do that. And it's the same thing here, where unfortunately the racism came out, and it's like you went from supporting small businesses and all these things to then all of a sudden of minorities, and then it's like something happens and higher ups or elites say something, and it's like, well, now I'm okay to go ahead and attack these people.
Yeah,
and it's a weird thing to see how quickly people's character like flips.
Yeah, right. And let's talk about enabling. That's a very real thing. I mean, of course, you know, people are going to do what they choose to do, right? You know, we're responsible for ourselves.
Yeah.
But those that do have, you know, these big platforms, or they're like, you know, up there, like upper echelon, you know, they are able to influence, you know, a mass of people.
And they are.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta hold yourself responsible for what you say. You know, you really got to think about the things that you're saying when a ton of people are listening in. And I mean, back to what I was saying about enabling, you know, if you set a scene, right, or set a, you know, if you let people feel comfortable with, you know, the potential of going out and do this, that, or the third, that's a crime. What do you think they're gonna do?
Right.
I mean, and that's the officer who touched base on it. He was like, oh, he just was fed up and he had a bad day. And it was like, no, dude. Like,
no, you have a bad day, you might yell at somebody at work.
If I have a bad day, I'm like, okay, we gotta go do something, or I want to go listen to some lo-fi music. Or I want to do something.
Even that in itself touches on another systemic problem in our society. Like right there, how different the rhetoric is from case to case. And you know, I'm trying not to even make that a black and white issue, even though, come on, we know. But you know, officer was
saying white and every other color issue. Basically.
Right? Yeah. Officer sitting here saying, "Oh, he had a bad day. He was down on his luck. You know, what would you do in this situation?" First of all, me as a very large black man in America, even if I just thought about doing that, there would be officers showing up at my door. Like I would telepathically.
Or they like try to dig up your past and drag you for anything. Right. Even
oh, he had a speeding ticket back in '92. Like.
Or let's dig up old like posts or tweets and let's just make sure we like assassinate character to get this man got off with like, again, first and foremost, we can't ignore the fact that there's a certain demographic that is able to commit massacres of people and come out alive.
Right.
Yeah. They're not killed. They're taken in custody. They get to sit there, have like, jail isn't always comfy, obviously, but like, you get to be taken in. You didn't have to lose your life. Whereas anybody who even did lesser of a crime than that can literally be shot and will be taken care of right on the scene.
By the media, you know, like he's a rapist, he's a criminal, he did this. Like to your point, you know, he had a speeding ticket, you know, he didn't show up to court, or he had community service. He played hooky in high school, like
or like if he did have like a drug record, let's say that could have been 15 years ago, you know, or whatever. And y'all, for me to be talking about this as a white man, okay, man, I'm ashamed, you know, of these people, you know. But I gotta let people know that they don't accurately represent,
of course,
you know, us as a people, like just like anybody else, man. We got bad seeds. Unfortunately, there's a lot of them, but you know, they're not us,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because I know a ton, just like I know a ton of Asian people, amazing people, they got bad seeds over on their side. Black people, an amazing group of people, again, they got bad seeds. Right. And just like us, but unfortunately, you know, with, you know, all these, you know, massacres and just like heinous acts, you know, happening, and unfortunately it's by, you know, a white man or woman or whatever.
I think unfortunately it's coming out more.
It's just so sad.
The fact of how like you touch on like the systemic, you know, stuff and aspect about it. And so now that there are people, and that includes you, Adam, in a good way, because I know you. Obviously, you guys are best friends. We've been to high school together. Like I know who you are as a person. But it's like for the generations, as even of white men and women, non-binary and stuff, like when there's change going about now, other minorities are rising up, and it's like we are equal. Like you're not going to treat us this way. There's still going to be white people that have been raised. I mean, you know, people typically tend to mirror how they were raised,
right?
You know, so it's a generational ignorance that comes through, and so when that's happening and those hate crimes are happening, then it's like for people like you, you're just like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Right,
not
right.
me.
Yeah,
and
like,
like
you
people
know
like
what?
me can easily recognize that is definitely not you. And there's a ton of white people that I
Right.
know that don't do that shit
And-
or condone that shit.
And to
or
bring up a
protest it.
fair point, even in the black community, there's a thing that I see a lot is like, you know, how the Asian community right now is asking for everybody to stand up for them, you know, like, hey, let's come together, like this is not right. And you got some people in the black community that are like, well, I didn't see them on the
Remember
front
the
lines
Facebook
for the
post?
beat. Yeah, I didn't
Me
see
and
them
you.
on.
Honestly, yeah.
Me and you had that interaction on those.
Which is a good point because me as a Latino, like I'm Mexican, my parents are from Mexico, you know, and I'm from Mexico as well. You know, just seeing that when Black Lives Matter, you know, the movement was, you know, going strong last year, a lot of Latinos were like, well, where are they for us? You know, where's the kids in cages? And to me, that angered me as a Latino, you know, because it's just sheer ignorance, you know.
Right.
People, you know, just because it's kind of, in a sense, it kind of ties into almost everything else, but it's almost like envy. You know, you're envious that somebody or a group is getting more attention than yours, and you're like, well, why do they deserve it? Like no, like let's help them out, let's get them good. Now, when they're good, then they can help us. You know, and I think that's just the poison that's in every community, unfortunately. That if you know if the focus doesn't shift or is on you 100%, then you're just gonna hate on it.
I think that, but also to touch on that, because I mean, unfortunately, I love getting in Facebook debates because I'm one of those people. Trent knows, me and him we'll tag team each other on
go down
them.
the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and it's like, I saw that too with Latinos, and they're like, well, what about us? And I was like, the Black Lives Matter movement, which I took part in because, like, hands down, that needs to be reformed. At the same time, you can't, as Latinos, sit there and be like, well, what about us? Why aren't they doing, like, that is, black people have had to constantly and for decades fight, and they finally are being heard. And at the same time, I mean, if we're gonna be honest, like I'm half Mexican, half Italian, so I'm aware of like my white passing privilege that I do have, even if I am half Mexican.
She can cook.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that's big fact right
at the same time, it was like, you can't sit there and blame another race of people for what's not happening for your race because they had to go and fight for that. We have to as well. If you are that strongly about it, you can't sit back and be like, well, why didn't you make that movement for us? Like, no, that's not fair to put on somebody else. Support each other, and there should be no issues there. But unfortunately, that's where greed kicks in, or selfishness, and like, well, what about me? Everyone wants to be first, to be.
And that goes back to the point of why I was bringing it up in the first place, because like, just because you didn't see the support doesn't mean it wasn't there.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there are so many people from all other cultures that came out during the BLM movement.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen Latinos, I've seen you guys out there, you know, resharing anything that I share. I've seen Adam doing the same thing, you know, and then when this happened with the Asian community, we were doing the same thing, like, yo, support them. There are thousands of people out there doing the same thing from every culture, for every culture.
You're not seeing it. Maybe you need to change your circle.
Exactly. And that's my point. Because you aren't seeing it, that just means you're not looking for it.
Or you're not keeping
You're looking
company
for a
that
reason
is.
to justify the reasons why
that
you don't want
happens
to
to
do
other
it.
people.
Right, and I, you know, to add on to, you know, y'all saying, you know, about people from different cultures saying, well, where were you when I was struggling, and then, you know, back and forth. It's just constantly like, you know, a bunch of pointing the finger.
Like
where were you, right?
Yep.
There's no actual like change or.
And it adds to the division.
And I think, but I think people need to get a greater understanding of what compassion is.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
This
because
generation is so desensitized because we're so used to seeing horrible things daily
Yeah,
that it's
we've
just like
had
whatever.
so much during our generation, but you know that brings up a lighter topic though. You know, the where were you when I was struggling and stuff like that, and that's actually a real good segue. So before we move on to the next thing, you know, in the comments below, let us know how you guys feel about what happened this past week. Let us know the ways that you have supported everybody, you know.
Any small businesses,
For real,
put yourselves in the comments so other people can see and support y'all.
I have a couple of friends too that are running campaigns to raise money for charities and to help out with, you know, what happened with those families and just donating. So I'll send that over to you as well.
All
so
right.
That way, you know, if you guys want to help out, you know, and you don't know how to, you know, those will be links. They're selling merch,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
man.
you can get a T-shirt or whatever. If you want to donate that way as well.
And
Absolutely,
because
yeah.
times are hard, even if you can't literally donate, like share, like raise awareness,
Mm-hmm.
educate your friends, educate your circles. Like if you
Educate
see
yourself,
people,
too.
like don't just stand by idly because that's how it continues.
Yeah.
type
Well,
of
and
thing.
y'all like stop. We gotta stop the hate. We all gotta come together. It's time for everybody to like let go of the whole like, well, you didn't do this, so I'm not gonna do this. An eye for an eye, or what is it? An eye for an eye
Make
makes the whole world blind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stop
So
the hate, congregate, and let's make some change.
you
Facts.
know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And
Big facts at the
See
round
that
table.
haircut?
Hey,
That haircut, man. Got that Rico Suave going on.
let's make some change, including some monetary change.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So what is it that you was about to tap into, my guy?
So, the world our world, our little world just got a big opportunity to make some change with a little change in the wallet. I feel like all of us just got a little stimulated this past week or two.
The government said, let the money in.
Papa Biden was like, I got y'all.
Hey, money bag Joe.
Moneybag Joe did it again. $1,400 in the wallet. How we feeling about it?
That shit reminds me.
Shout out to Bernie though,
Oh,
because
big
I know he
facts.
was pushing
That's
it.
my
Sorry,
man.
just had to.
He really was, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That does remind me of the Moneybag Joe. Reminds me. Seen that meme where a little baby's putting on the medal on for Joe?
Oh,
when Obama gave him that medal.
yeah.
That's just funny.
Instead of the Medal of Honor, it's the Medal of Baller.
Yeah, it's the medal of baller. Yeah. So what y'all do with y'all stimmies?
Yo,
Or
mine.
did y'all get stimmies?
I
Yeah,
got
man.
mine. I got mine, and mine is sitting in my savings account for when we do bigger, better things. This coming up. Right now, if you guys haven't noticed, we actually have a giveaway going on.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh yeah, baby.
Okay,
We live.
back. Yo, so we just wanted to give a huge thank you to all the support that we've been getting lately from you guys, from everybody else that we grew up with, and then people that don't even know us.
People tapping in and viewing the channel, viewing the episodes.
For real. So, for those that don't know, our first episode has reached over 700 views. on
Congratulations.
YouTube.
Man, appreciate it. In less than a month.
In
I was
less
gonna
than
say
a
it was
month.
pretty quick.
Yeah, flex on that shit, bro.
Hey. You know what I mean?
And they got
I know
the
that's
shirt.
He gonna pull out the shirt.
The stimmy shirts 1.0.
Hey, the stimmy shirts. Bro, hashtag stimmy
Damn,
shirts.
they-
That's stimmy shirt.
That's that 24 karat gold on the screen print.
You know what I mean?
You know they're coming for Dmkd with
Yeah.
their merch.
Hey, that's right, man. We travel far and wide.
Hey, bro, relax.
Nah, bro,
alright?
you know,
that
we
shit's
don't-
blinding me right
Hey,
now.
Look. We,
Flexing a little too hard.
look, we believe in sharing at the round table. We believe
Everybody
in
eats.
everybody eat.
That's
all
right,
This
man.
is a thick table,
Also,
alright?
Okay,
So y'all got
so
100
you know,
for us?
of course,
Oh,
of
let's get
course,
Of course.
of course, we had to get y'all one too, y'all.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
That's
man.
love.
It is, man.
Appreciate
Hey,
it.
thank y'all. Go ahead and don't leave me hanging, bro. On camera.
You saw the question earlier when you
So
asked.
like
You right.
$100
Facts.
bills coming after, or are we
Okay,
in the
so
shirts?
you know, you being funny. I see you trying to win that money real quick. I'm not Moneybag Joe. All right, so
Go check that
We'll get
Instagram
that
post,
shit,
yo,
guys.
so y'all get some money.
Hey,
so
we may be money bag broke, but we trying to give back, man. So
For real.
go ahead and
So-
touch on that giveaway right quick.
So what we're doing is $100 giveaway, y'all. It's gonna be live on April 3rd, okay, at 2 p.m. Central. Okay.
Central. Tune in, y'all.
On our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we chose a Saturday to do this. It's a Saturday.
So we have a video up right now on our YouTube that goes into the details on how to do it. Like this, subscribe that. Typical stuff. And honestly, we're really not making it complicated. You help us out with a subscription. We help you out by putting your name in a drawing for $100, man. And this is really just our way of saying thank you for showing any type of support right now.
Yeah.
So please, after this, be sure to check out that video, check out the details and everything like that.
Go get your money.
Go get your money.
That's right, man. Hey, and the video is titled, if I'm not mistaken, Cash Giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
So, look it up. You can find it on our YouTube channel, Homies of the Round Table, Instagram, HOTRT_podcast. You can find it there, man. All you need to do is like and share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then follow us on Instagram. And when you're done, DM us a message saying done. And you in there like swimwear to possibly wins you $100
Once y'all win that
cash.
$100, y'all can head on
Straight
over to
hundreds, man.
DMKDcollective.com.
You gonna plug yourself right there?
Hey, that was smooth. That was smooth.
But don't
I
forget,
get that,
after
bro.
you hit subscribe, you gotta hit the bell for the notifications. Cause I hit the bell for the
that's
notifications
right,
to you
man.
guys, so my phone dings every time y'all post something.
There you go. Look at that.
You got a good one, bro.
That's we'll send y'all the invoice after this.
Oh, is that right? Y'all billing us? We gave y'all shirts, man.
Yeah.
Put
So,
clothes on y'all's back. Y'all gonna bill us?
Now y'all see why I'm the business side of it.
That's right.
You just said
You a little bit more
Just make the post.
digestible, you know what I mean? Like, he's a kind of a hard you know.
She's
I'm
fiber.
What?
nah, bro. Tapatio and Cholula, bro.
Bro, it's like we talked about in the last episode. You know what I'm saying? Default spicy. You
Yeah.
can't even help it.
That's facts though.
Yeah, you poor things. Y'all know. Y'all know 100%. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
Kim,
before
alright.
the
Yeah,
pregnancy.
better behavior, Kim.
Everything was spicy. Like before she was pregnant, she was like spice level 1,000. She
So-
was everything. Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Why are you putting
She didn't wake
Tabasco
up
on your
spicy.
ice cream, fam?
Yeah, that heartburn is real.
You like how normal girlfriends like, we like, yo, get up. She's like, smack, get the fuck up.
I mean, can
got
Latinas
you.
even get heartburn? Because they always spicy, so that
Nah.
heart stay
But that's
burning.
that half Italian side, though. Cause
Ah.
now I'm like,
You right.
bruh, here, let me get that Zantac real quick. Hold on, the age came out, you know.
She nail check the age, you know.
Let's not do the nail check, cause everybody gonna look and they look rough.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna put you
So
on that.
back to Adam's face. Let's see if that lighting is bright and he's leaning, cause
Yeah.
we throwing.
He's shining, shining, yeah, he's shining. All right.
Hey, yeah, let's let that die, bro.
All right.
I
So,
don't know what that was.
damn. Okay.
He was about to segue. Trip was
Like I
about to
was-
segue into, and now he's
I
like,
was
gonna
all
throw some
happy and
shade.
positive.
My bad.
All right,
Sorry,
bro.
I mean,
I
but
see
go
you.
do your thing.
Hey,
The
listen.
haircut, the toxic one came back.
But hey, listen, y'all, let's kind of reel it in, man. You know, earlier we were talking about, you know, how people need to do better, you know, and stand for something.
Right. So that's why I wanted to start talking on how did you guys get started? Because, you know, we talked about people being in a struggle, some people not being for you during the struggle and stuff like that, which is a perfect segue for, you know, starting your own business. And right
Yeah,
now,
of course. Well, again, thank you guys for bringing me on this platform, on y'all's platform to talk about this.
Of course, man.
I wasn't shit till Kim came into my life. I'll be straight up. She straightened me up. Nah,
That's like, well,
no, I mean she's the business portion of it. Like she's the enforcer. That's
Yeah.
the way I like to think of it. You know, she's very, you know, just her attitude and the way she carries herself is like she takes no shit from nobody. You know, and I'm more laid back. I'm more creative. I'm like a mixy person. So I'm, you know, like the face of it in a sense. You know, it's a
Yeah.
partnership. And it all started, I mean, this started in high school. You know, I was bad. Like, I got into trouble a lot. I was part of a graffiti crew in California. So I used to ditch school, like, hit up, you know, have, like, black books, you know, go burners and just, you know, do a bunch of bad shit.
I mean, on the bright side, you've been creative since then.
Yeah,
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, you know, I just started seeing a lot of my friends as I got older, you know, because, like, you know, once you get to senior year, you're pretty much an adult by that point, right? And a lot of my friends were getting, like, locked up. They'll go to, like, serve sentences for, like, 1-2 years maybe, or they get probation and shit like that. So me being undocumented at that time, you know, I'm like, I can't fucking do that shit. You know, I get caught up and I'm going to Mexico and I don't know shit about Mexico. You know, I've been here my whole life basically. As you can peep with my lack of accent, you know, I'm very whitewashed in a sense of that. You know, like I don't know much about my culture, which is my fault because I always fought it when I was younger. So yeah, so I was trying to do something to get money, but I didn't want to work at 9 to 5. You know, so what I landed on was making clothes. You know, like doing clothing. And my very first, I think after I graduated, I was 19. My brother bought me he bought me wax paper for Christmas and Plastisol ink, or I think it was, I don't know what kind of ink it was. So basically, he was like, what you can do is you can draw it out, cut it out, and then basically iron onto the shirt and then paint it with the ink. I was like, okay, cool. That shit came out terrible. Like, I threw it in the washer and then the ink was everywhere. And then my mom was like, if this is really what you want to do, then here's $200. Like, figure it out.
Okay, I thought she was gonna
You
be
know,
like, man,
and
if
this
this is
was
really
like-
what you want to do.
That's still gonna shit like that.
Exactly. So my mom was like, because my parents are entrepreneurs, like, by heart.
Okay.
You know, they came here with no money in their pocket. And they made shit work. My dad always worked he worked under his own account. Like, he would take contracts from other people. He's a contractor. But he would always, make his own rates and things of that nature. He'll control how much money he makes, basically. Yeah. And my mom was always like that too. And my mom's family in Mexico, like, I just found out, like, they're all business owners. Except in Mexico, like, you can't really make much money, like, being a business owner, because you get taxed, and then you've got cartels and a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
But it just runs in my family, like, being an entrepreneur. So to me, it just made sense. Like, I don't want to be normal and just not normal, but I don't want to conform to the normal.
Right. I mean, you're an artist. That's kind of typical for artists.
Exactly. I want to express myself, and I want to do what I love, and I want to be happy.
Right. And leave a legacy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
For not only myself, but my family as well. Like, something that they can
and healthy
look
generational
at.
continuation of being, a business owner.
Exactly. So, long story short, that happened. That was in 2011.
Okay.
So I was just barely getting into that. I started YouTubing stuff. This is way before social media was huge. This was barely peak of Facebook.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of trial and error. I made a small brand out in California called Dmkd, and it was just print. That's when I found out how to use. Well, I learned how to use Illustrator and things of that nature. And I just started selling shirts, but I wasn't really making much money because I didn't know much of the business aspect of it. I just knew that if I paid as much for shirts, I'm just gonna sell it, and I want to make some money.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't understand, like, margins and
no, I didn't
things
understand
like that.
any of that stuff. So all that money basically went to waste. I started
That
seeing
profit margin.
I started seeing more money than I could, because back then it was like, you have a brand, that's just dope. Like, not many people have their own brands.
Yeah.
So I made a pretty nice penny off of that brand, but because I wasn't a business person, I just started flexing and spending all that shit. Next thing you know, like, I have no money, so I didn't know how to continue it. Long story short, then I moved out here to Texas in 2014, and that's when I wanted to rebrand my, what I had started in California. So before I moved out here, I met a shop owner who took me in. He was my very first consignment deal in California. So he gave me a chance. He's like, I like you, I like your brand, keep it in here. But he told me once, because that's when I started getting into sewing, because I made some joggers. Like, if you think of like 2012, 2011, joggers weren't really a big thing.
Yeah.
A little bit ahead of your time.
Yeah, so like I would buy
I'm
sweats.
too big for joggers anyway. That was just ain't no joggers around here, boy. Them walkers, sorry.
They're couchers.
Right. If you was to try to put on joggers.
Right. Okay, I stay active walking up and down the stairs.
That's when I realized, I kind
of
I felt like I had some type of, like, not necessarily a gift, but I had vision. I knew what was may be cool or may pop off. And not many people understand it. Well, not many friends understood it. Like, what the fuck is this shit? It's like, it's fucking sweats.
Again,
so
typical.
When I brought that up to that shop owner, he's like, yo, this shit's dope. He's like, you know what? I just ordered some joggers that are, like, brand new from fucking back then. I think it was Undefeated or 10 Deep. I forgot what it was, but it was a big brand. They still are a big brand. And then he told me, why don't you do a lifestyle brand, which is Dmkd, and then why don't you do a luxury version of it, since you're sewing all these by hand, and you only charge it like $50. So then I thought about that, and I moved out here. That's when I started Dmkd.
Okay.
And I wanted
how did you transition from Dmkd to Dmkd? Like, how did the name switch up? Like,
why just remove some letters?
Hey, we keep it simple around here.
No,
keep it pushing.
It did take some time, because I struggled with it. I was like,
yeah, because that's what I mean. Like, for a lot of people, who don't know branding and stuff like that, when you're sitting here trying to pick a name, especially your own name and stuff like that, it's actually a huge step.
Yeah,
like, it takes some time to really be like, okay, this is what I want everyone to see. Yeah. So I was just curious, like.
No, I mean, I was just joking with you. No. So it did take me a while. It took me at least almost 2 months to actually change it and to rebrand it. And I wanted to stand something for, I wanted it to stand for, things that I really valued,
Yeah.
I didn't want it to just be one name where, a lot of people were like,
or be
Ambition Clothing or
be meaningless or something.
Diamond,
like that,
things like that.
So what do they mean?
The words?
Yeah, Dmkd.
Yeah,
what does it stand for?
It stands for determination, motivation, knowledge, drive.
I like that.
Yeah. So to me, it just made sense. You know, I had Dmkd, so DMKD. I was always putting DMKD gang anyways on all those merch. So I just thought about, you know, these are things that are really, you know, I view very strongly of myself. Like these are attributes that I feel like I have that have helped me
like some
grow
core values.
Personally. Exactly, like core values. Like, you know, I'm always determined to do better. You know, if I don't know, I try to research as much as I can to gain the knowledge. You know, and you have to have drive to actually, you know,
make it
deliver,
happen.
and you gotta stay motivated.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole process, it's not an easy process. Like you're gonna have some really bad lows, and let me tell you, I had some really bad lows. Like, you know, in 2017, you know, I started DMKD here in Texas in 2014. I released a small little capsule. I did some mesh basketball jerseys, and I did some kind of sew, like dropped. I don't know if you've seen like the scoop tees. You know, like some t-shirts have the scoop.
Yeah.
So I had those, and because I didn't know anybody here, I had like those didn't sell. Like, those terrible. I was like and you know, cut and sew is expensive, especially when you do overseas, because and that's one thing that I'll talk about is, you know, you can do overseas or you can do in the United States. The United States is always going to be more expensive because, you know, they're paying workers minimum wage, I won't say living wage, but they're paying minimum wage, so it's a lot more than what, you know, other countries will pay their workers. So it's always more expensive here, but the quality is always better. There's always more quality control. You have more control over the process. So I decided to go through Alibaba, which is Alibaba.com, for those of you watching and wanting to find out where to source. Except you have a lot of risks out there because it's not really regulated. You can't you can't say, give my money back, because you're going to another country.
Right.
So they usually ask for Western Union payments, things of that nature. So long story short, I ordered from them. They have minimums, so they had a 50 minimum, so 50 piece minimum at that time.
You gotta buy in bulk.
I had to buy in bulk, and I just sat on those 50 pieces for a long time, you know. And then that's when I stopped. You know, I was with an ex back then. I had a baby, I had a kid, so I wasn't really pushing it. And it wasn't until 2017 when I met Kim. You know, I had fallen out with my ex. You know, she was out the picture. Kim came in, and you know, with her, just I'm a better your life. Like on steroids.
Let me whip you out.
Yeah, so I mean, I struggled through depressions. I mean, you know, that was a bad fallout with my ex, and you know, she took my son to another state, which is, you know, even harder because I was really close to him, and you know, I was broke. I didn't know what to do. Like I just lost it, you know. And she would always tell me, you know, you gotta make sure you're on top of it. You know, keep it pushing, this and that. At that time, I had released some shirts that I don't know if you guys probably seen. There's like the Gucci, like a fake Gucci snake in the back, and it says "Only the strong."
Oh yeah.
So you know, and again, those things flopped. I mean, they sold, but they sold like really slow, and I mean, they're only $20. And back then, and this is what I see a lot on smaller brands is, I thought if they're not pushing, I'm just gonna do 50% sell. I sold myself short. You know, I'll take $15. I'll take $10. Just get it out the door. That still didn't do much. I didn't see much difference in that. And that's when my gears started twisting. You know, if I sell things for cheap, if I sell myself short, lower my value, it doesn't change the outcome in a sense. You know, it just brings the traffic that you don't want, which is, well, can you get it even cheaper? Like, bro, it's already $10. Like, what do you mean cheaper? You know, at that point, and that's really, I want to say that's my third rebranding in a sense, mentally. You know, with a lot of help from Kim, you know, helping, you know, lift me up and knowing my value and appreciating myself.
So let me ask you this. When was the moment for you that you looked at his brand and said, we gonna make it? Like,
I mean, to be honest, like, me and him met at our corporate office job, and the minute he told me, like, I was training new hires, and so he was like the little fresh meat that came in, but regardless, he was talking about his brand, and Jesus. Haircut, alright.
New cut, who this?
And so he told me a little bit, he was very outspoken, and in corporate America, I'm very stern. Okay. So it was like, who is this? Why does he talk so much? Why is he talking to me? And then,
why you out of line?
She said, fall in, boy.
She said.
No, he knows.
Like, why is it challenging me?
Why are you saying that? But he started talking about his brand, and so when I heard him talk about it, though, I could hear the excitement or like the passion that he had through it. And that's when, again, he had just moved over here and he was just getting started. So like I had ordered something off his website, but at the same time, because I'm a hard ass, right? I was like, you don't need to know this. So I put it under my daughter's name because it was gonna be, but like my dumb self didn't realize that like the account for PayPal is under my name, so it was gonna come out of that anyway. So he was like, "Did you make sure?" And I was like, "No."
And then I slid her DMs after that, and then
there you go, toxic one. All right, but so the minute that literally, even with corporate America and our difference in personalities, because again, I'm more blunt and serious. You guys know that. And his more like carefree, charismatic, a little bit obnoxious, personality. I was still like, I could see in there the drive that he had. So at that point, I was like, even not really knowing him, I was like, I need to support him.
Yeah,
like,
so it was that drive, that passion for it, where it was genuine.
When, touching on his depression phase, that he had from losing his son, and I was like, we gotta look at the bigger picture here. You're gonna get, the contact back with your son. We are going to fight our way there. But in the meantime, you can't get there if you don't fight for yourself. I need you to get yourself right. I need your son to see that his dad got this. His father's happy, and we're gonna get this going.
Yeah.
And at that point, we haven't stopped since. Whether it's turning our whole apartment into a warehouse, you guys have seen it.
Yeah.
All it is heat press, screen print, vinyl cutters,
sewing machines, everything,
like anything that there was. If I had the means, then it was like, okay, like let's do what we need to do.
So before we get to the next question, I just wanna touch on what she said. That goes back to our very first episode where we talked about, if you know somebody that has a real passion, a real drive, that has talent, and you see it, give them a kick in the ass. Sometimes they need that, and obviously, right here is living proof.
Yeah.
Because from what you guys told us, not only have you transitioned to it becoming more successful, but you've been able to transition to this being your full-time job now, correct?
Yo, shout out.
Yeah.
Can we just clap that up for a second? Like, that's a huge move.
So tell me a little bit about, that moment where you realized that this is time. It's time to make that transition.
You want it, or you want me to say?
You can do it.
All right. So, I mean, I talked about how it all, started and everything. So I've been producing what I consider quality, works. Every collection, I always try to level up. I always try to make sure that I bring the best quality. There's always a message behind it, not just print or just because it's cool or trendy. So I try to make it very personal to me. So I think with that alone, it just helped broaden my audience, and just being able to be face to face whenever I vended and talk to people and tell them, this is what it is. Let them feel the quality and the work for themselves, and it resonates with them. And it resonates with them. So I just started doing a lot more shows and a lot, vending. And I was on the fence with pandemic in 2020, but I just took the risk. I was like, if I can't sit here and just wait for this to happen. I have to take precautions, as much precautions as possible, and make sure that we're successful.
Yeah.
And at that time, my mom had moved in temporarily because she was going through some stuff back home. And she has, like I said, she's an entrepreneur, so she flips homes, she buys homes and sells them. So she told me, whatever you need, I'm always going to be here for you if you need it. Kim was telling me, you have to do this full time. You're dying at AAA. Oh, sorry, you're dying at your old job. Sorry, I wanted to demonetize. You're dying at your old job. Like I was tired, like I was stressed, and I was making other people money, because I'm good at talking to people. Well, at least I feel like I'm good at talking to people.
No, you're terrible.
When I say the right things. So if I can talk about myself or my brand, like I feel like I can connect with somebody, I'm very passionate about it, I love doing this.
Yeah. Well, you embody your brand, like your brand is something that's, based on core values, right? And I feel like a lot of times, when people have a brand or, any type of business, like when they go to seek an investment, people invest in them as a person.
Yeah.
Because let's be real. If you're a shitty person, you know what I mean, and like you're just out here not really, well, let's just face it, you're just a crappy individual. Nobody wants to invest in somebody that they can't even believe in because they can't get past how they are as a person.
Right.
So I think that's why you've been reaching, some more success.
Yeah.
And, because people are able to see, like, this is authentic.
Right.
Y'all, this is real, y'all. This is,
homemade.
Yeah, when you have a story, and like, back to what Kim was saying about, you kind of being like an audacious person, but
hey, so much nicer.
But you know what though? hey, but you know what? This is something that Trio says all the time. Audacity makes kings, though.
Yep.
So the fact that you regardless, like against all odds, you two, Kim, y'all together. Yeah. Y'all are the collective, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Against all odds, y'all are still pressing
yin
forward.
Yang. Like he's, like I said, he's the embodiment of a creative, whereas I'm the embodiment of like a logical person. I told him like there's always gonna be like chiefs and Indians, and I feel like too, like everyone should encourage everyone to be business owners, but I think too we've gotten into a place where there's a stigma if you aren't one. And that's okay to have it.
That's true. That's
very
everyone is
like
unique.
if everyone was their own business, then who's gonna help them run it?
Right.
That's funny because I had this in my notes for last podcast, but we wound up talking about a bunch of other stuff. Is when did it happen where people can't just have hobbies anymore? Like every hobby has to be a hustle.
Like why didn't you make money?
Right.
Like I just want to enjoy it, and that's okay too.
So yeah, I think that's like and not toxic, but a lot of people are I'm my own boss. You got to make sure you get paid for your time, which I respect, but not everyone is at that level. You got to be a certain level to be like, you got to pay me.
I wouldn't even say level. I would just say personality type.
Personality, but also like, in a sense,
there's got to be a balance because if you have too much of like me, because there is a sense of narcissism you have to have to an extent to be your own boss, because like I got to make this happen. I got to sell myself. And so like that's what I would have wanted, because I was like, you're good at that. Meanwhile, I'm one of the, what you would say, like the chief Indian dynamic. I'm the Indian. Tell me what I need to do. Tell me what to do, and I will get it done. Tell me what our goal is. I'll find a way to get to that resolution. I just need you to make dope clothing. I need you to get out there. I need you to network.
And I'll handle
the back end of it. I'll handle the behind the scenes.
Well, I think more to that, like we were saying, people can have hobbies and things like that. Because I know a lot of people in this industry, locally or at a higher tier, where they're, well, don't talk to me unless you have a check ready.
Right.
Like, you have to bring some value, yes, to be able to do that. But also, you also got to know who exactly you're charging and who you're going to do them a favor, I may give advice to somebody because, I believe in them, I want you to do better. At the end of the day, we're all humans, we're all going to get there. The money's not going to run out.
Right.
The money's always going to be there.
Oh, there's plenty of money.
Dead or alive, the money's always going to be there, right? So a lot of people get hung in like, I want to get there first,
Yeah.
I was there, I still struggle with that, I want to make sure that, I can get there the quickest, whatever, and I struggle with that still, which we can talk about, later, but I think that's the stigma that's, if you're not getting paid for your time, you're wasting your time.
Right.
Which is not always the truth, because you can do someone a favor and then it can 360 and then do you a favor.
Right. That's what they call sweat equity. Yeah. That's putting in that hard work, sweat equity, right? Instead of like, putting in hard work to achieve something or to achieve, like, let's say a percentage, as opposed to paying to receive a percentage. It's sweat equity. It's hard work. Which is what you guys have done a lot of. And then, eventually, like you're not going to see, dividends or whatever, or initial payment there in the beginning. Sweat equity is the long ball.
You got to
right?
always
That's
take
the
that
long
loss
game.
in the beginning, typically, with being a business owner.
Yeah.
And like, you see the rise.
And like you said, it'll circle back around.
Yeah.
So, but everybody's built differently.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think I answered your question. Sorry. So, but basically, yeah. So, we started vending not a lot more, but we did 3 vending events last year, at the end of last year. And I was on the fence because my DACA had already expired in September, and because of everything that was going with the current president, pandemic, I wasn't getting my renewal yet, and I wasn't able to work. And because of that, I wasn't getting paid. And Kim was telling me, well, this is a sign, you need to stop working there. And my mom was telling me, this is a sign you need to stop working there. And I still, because I'm a very cautious person, I want to make sure that I have I have something in place in case things don't happen.
Right.
But in this business, you kind of have to get, you just kind of have to leap and just make it happen. You know, it's not, if you feel like it's not gonna happen, you gotta make it happen. And my last show I did in November. Throughout those 3 shows, a lot I was telling people, you know, I'm kind of on the fence, you know, and they were just complete strangers that I've never met before, telling me, do it. You have something here that's special. Like you can do it. Like I can just tell off you and her, you guys are gonna make it happen. It's complete strangers that I've never met, just telling me, and like in the way that they would tell me, it wasn't just someone saying like oh, you can do it, you know, whatever. They were like, no, like do it. Like I believe in you guys. You guys have something here. You have something. You guys have something. You know. So I was just like, fuck it. Like let's just do it. Like so I you know, I called my job. I told them, you know, I'm not coming back. You know, whatever it is. You know, it's respectfully, you know, I don't want to sever that, because I've learned a lot from there too.
Fuck you, but respectfully.
I mean, to an extent, I mean, that touches base on, like, you know, I think we see a lot of it where it's like, you need to also acknowledge, like, and I think that's why everyone got into the idea of, like, you have to be a business owner to, like, be anybody, but, you know, these corporate businesses will drop you like nothing, and, you know, technically, he could work, but they mailed his stuff to the wrong spot, but they sent him documents saying this is validation, like you can work, and they wouldn't accept it. So it's like they kept giving him, in essence, like an ultimatum, and it's like he can't control that. And I was like, you need to just like understand, like this is happening. The universe is showing you this for a reason. Like I need you to drop it. You've been wanting to leave. You haven't been leaving. You know, and then at this point, you got your boss, which you can't even help the situation, and they sent you documentation saying you can work. Saying no, we're not.
Yeah, like I mean, like we said before, man, like not every bad thing that happens to you is actually a bad thing. Sometimes it's just a blessing in disguise. You know, the universe sometimes has to remove you from something that you refuse to remove yourself from in order to pave the way for you. And it sounds like that's what happened to you, man.
You know, those people that were telling you genuinely, you know, y'all got something special.
Hell
like chase it. You know what I mean? Sounds to me like that was your sign. That was the green light. You know, that was that door opening.
Yeah,
you know?
If you hear it from somebody, you know, you're like, yeah. You're supposed to say that.
Because I mean, at one of the last events, I just told her, I was so overjoyed. I just told her, like, I just want to cry right now. Like, I don't know. Like, I've never happened to me before. Like, I'm just so happy that I just want to cry. You know, and I was like, you know, this is a sign. Like, I got to do it. I got to make it happen. Yeah. So, you know, once, of course, you lose that corporate structure, because, you know, usually you don't think about payrolls and things of that nature. Then it becomes a whole different universe, you know.
It becomes real.
And that's one thing that it's kind of full 360 for me in a sense, because the very first person that I shot with, that like shot my merchandise here in Texas, he became, you know, a bigger influencer. You know, he's been successful at that. And I met him, I want to say, was it January, I think? And, you know, he asked me, like, how's the brand going, you know? And I told him, you know, well, I just took it full time, X, Y, and Z. And then he told me, okay, it's about time. He's like, welcome to our life. And to me, that's like one of the realest things that anyone's told me. Yeah. Because I feel it, you know, it's like, it's pressures, you know. And I think that I had to go through everything that I had to go through to cherish these moments, and also to withstand the pressure that comes with this territory, you know. There's going to be days where you sell a bunch. There's going to be days where you don't. There's going to be days where you're creative. There's going to be days where you don't. There's going to be days where you want to quit. And you want to say, fuck, like, when is this going to happen? But it's all worth it in the end, you know. I still think about, you know, I like this process, because...
And that's the key difference, though. Yeah. Because when you hit those, not trying to cut you off, but...
No, please.
You did. When you hit those low notes, it's all about how much you're passionate about it. Because there's a lot of people that suffer setbacks. There's a lot of people that don't have the money to do this or that. You know, when your car breaks down and you ain't got the money for it, you know, there's some people that give up then, but then there's other people that's like, I still got to get to work, so bus ticket it is, you know. It's that drive to know that you have to accomplish something.
That mentality, like, there's, like, we're going to find a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Resilience.
And that's what, to me, that's what separates the people who turn their hobbies into jobs from the people that need to just let that be their hobby. Because having a hobby is not a bad thing. It is a way to relax. It's pressure free. It's your way of expressing yourself. But for those people that are absolutely passionate about turning it into something, those are the people that need to be doing those type of things.
Those are the people that are going to weather the storm, you know.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of, you know, everybody knows shit rolled downhill. you know.
Yeah.
And so like when you're on the climb and everything's coming at you, you know, you make mistakes or something doesn't pop like you expected to, whatever, you can either choose to, well, dwell on that, or you can use it as a stepping stone and keep climbing that ladder. You know what I'm saying? So
I think one of the things too is that everyone says about if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yes.
And it's like, you can do what you love, but it is work. And I feel like that also helps people like give up in essence, because you can be passionate about something, but you have to put in work. If you're gonna do it and
That's
do
right.
what you love, like you said, there's gonna be days where you're kind of like not really with it, but it is work, and you can enjoy it and love it and still recognize that there is a job that needs to be done.
Yep. And on that note, I think that's what's gonna resonate with the most people. Is understanding that. That's that key difference. You know, recognize that it is work. This is no longer playtime. You know, you will have your happy days because you're doing successful, but
We're in the playoffs now.
right?
That's
Be in
right,
the
man.
big
Hey.
leagues. About to
Hey.
get that ring.
October's very own, man. Time to level up,
There
man.
you go.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping things up. So let these people know where to catch you guys at.
You can catch us on Instagram at Dmkd Collective and our website, dmkdcollective.com. And we're starting a TikTok. Well, we already started it, but nothing's been uploaded. So working on that. I want to, do a lot of more DIYs and also bringing people into, what it's like to create things, so that way hopefully it can inspire others.
Bet.
So we'll have a Twitter. We'll have a TikTok. We have a Twitter. Again, don't really use it as much, but we're gonna be more engaged in that. That's gonna be at Dmkd Collective as well. So.
What if they want to see the stuff in person and feel like,
Oh yeah, and if they want to see things in person, we are also being stocked at the corner store. That's CRNRSTR, which is a new storefront opening up in Dallas. We did a soft opening back in September, and the grand opening is going to be in April.
Hey.
So look out for that. We'll be posting
Dope.
that as well. So if you guys want to go try it out, check it out. My boy Justin, get you guys right. So
That's what's up, man. Now I know, just real quick, I know you touched a little bit on some new releases, like a new collection,
yes, sir.
right? Yeah. So you want to touch a little bit on that and what people can look out for?
So the new collection will be dropping in April. Haven't solidified the date just yet.
Okay.
We should have a lookbook, ready within the next 2 weeks. So we'll be posting that on social media. But yeah, the collection is probably one of the biggest collections. I always say this because it's always like getting bigger and bigger.
Right.
But it's a lot more cut and sew, more intricate pieces, a lot of layering, patterns, colors, and just relaying the message of what was going in my mind in 2020. Wanting to be perfect but not really having it together. To kind of extent, like trying to make sure that I worked a corporate job but I wasn't happy there. So relaying those emotions into pieces. So I want to relay that message that as put together as you want to be, it's okay to be broken, and that can show. It's okay to be vulnerable, So that's basically the message in the pieces, and once the lookbook comes out, hopefully it resonates with you guys. So I'm excited for y'all to see that.
Hey, we love that, man.
for those in other states, because right now we are located in Texas, we are going to be having more information out as well later in April. We will be also in a storefront in California.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dope.
So
What?
That's big
that's
thing.
something to details to come as well.
That's
Awesome,
amazing.
man. We'll
y'all.
definitely keep a lookout for sure.
All right, Adam, you want to drop our links for us too?
All right, y'all. So links for us to continue watching, as we drop episodes. You can find us on Instagram at HOTRT_podcast. YouTube, you can find us at Homies of the Round Table. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe, all that good stuff. You can also find us on Facebook, Homies of the Round Table there as well. And again, you guys, these people that we have on set today, they are some special people. Their brand is phenomenal. They have awesome work. Follow them on Instagram.
Speak on it.
Hey, man, and I'm not even joking, y'all. Like this, I have a big respect for people who have a drive and a passion to continue on, weathering through the storm and really wanting to make something of themselves and, to like inspire other people. And that's exactly what this brand is doing. So, please, do the homies a favor and do DMKD a favor. Go to their Instagram. Buy some shit. But for real, find them on Instagram, you guys. Give them a follow. Share their stuff. Shop, buy some clothing if you really feel that it's for you. It will be.
Okay, big facts.
And that's that, y'all. So
Hey.
I mean, Trio supported us. He's gone from us.
Yep, I have multiple times
He
actually.
got the face mask before it was popular.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh,
Before the pandemic.
hey.
Before the pandemic.
Pre-pandemic.
For the pandemic.
Yeah,
If y'all having some
pandemic.
trouble figuring out where to spend your streaming money, head onto the website.
And that is Big Facts at the Round Table. We appreciate you guys, y'all. That's our time. We're gonna roll out.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, y'all.
yeah, man, good to have you guys, man. We really appreciate it.
And let's get next month.
All right.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Bye.